What's up, Collider TV Talk fans? Josh Macuga here on a saucy Thursday. It was a great intro, guys. Starting out hot. I am just basically mailing it in until my wedding. So here we go. Collider TV Talk. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week on a Monday. No, we got a jam-packed show today. Perri Nemiroff is here for the first time. It's so good to have you back, Perri.
It's so nice to be here.
Really?
I don't know what it's going to be like today. I have never done this show, but I like surprises,
Awesome.
and you're full of them. So let's go.
Grace Hancock also here.
Oh, good morning. We're really excited to have the wonderful Perri Nemiroff here for the very first time ever on TV Talk. Who knows what's going to happen? But tweet me your questions at Mrs. Graceface, hashtag Collider TV Talk, hashtag Saucy Tuesday. Yeah, yeah.
Saucy Thursday.
Oh, shit.
We almost had it. We almost
so
had it.
much confidence. I was literally celebrating.
We also have a very special guest here in
Great.
studio that will be here on the second half of the show. Chad Michael Collins, star of the upcoming series Extinct on BYUtv, and you guys know him from the Sniper movies as well. He's also been on Schmoes a couple times, so if you're a Schmoes fan, you know him as well. Let's get into some news. Grace, what do you think?
Yeah, I think yes.
Let's do it.
Here on a Saucy Tuesday. Okay, so the big thing that we've all been talking about is Inhumans going to be canceled after season 1 before season 1 airs? They have changed their poster from the premiere having a certain date to now it's full series on that date.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
I don't know if they're going to dump the whole thing or if they're going to do like 4 2-hour specials because it's supposedly 8 episodes. They may there is no definitive conclusion depending on views and everything, but the way this is being promoted right now and the way ABC sees this series is, I would imagine you have 1 season and we're done. Like, we're not going to go a season 2. This was one bad wig away from being like the worst thing we've ever seen. So I trust a lot of the opinions of the people that I know, and the people that I know that have seen this said, if you spend your money in IMAX, you're going to be very upset. So I went to Chipotle and got 2 burritos instead.
That's just intelligent.
Their
adulting.
reactions being so strong in that direction does make me a little curious. I do kind of want to sit there with a beer or something and watch and laugh at it. But
yeah,
with this story, I did some Googling, and I'll give the credit to IO9 on this. I was reading their article, and they said that, that poster with that phrasing had been out before. So it's not like they said, the reviews are in and they're bad, so let's change everything. So that term was used in a previous marketing push, so I don't think it's a definite sign that they're saying, well, let's just like wash our hands clean of this nonsense and get on with it.
I mean, to be clear, does it say series or season on this?
Complete. The term that is getting everybody riled up is saying complete series.
Complete
Because
series.
if it was the season, would it not say complete season and then they would dump all the episodes? Because
what
it does make it sound kind of like hammer down.
And ABC Digital doesn't even exist anymore, by the way. So there's no platform for them to dump a season on.
Yeah.
Like
what they
CBS
suggest
All
in the
Access.
article, though, is that they're using that term to differentiate it from the IMAX. It's like if people were confused about, I only got to see X amount in the IMAX theatrical format, you could see the complete series on TV, which does make some sense to me.
Sure. It does. That makes perfect sense to me, but I also understand why people are like,
Yeah.
Because the season series thing throws me
Honestly,
a bit.
at this point, because it's getting such bad reviews, I'm like excited to see it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it was just like, it's okay, then I'd be like, all right, well, I guess like I'm not. But it'd be like, dude, this is a train wreck. I'm like, where's my popcorn?
I mean, watch this be like a total like 100 billion people watch it because we've all heard how bad it is.
Dude, I
so
saw
all their
friend
ratings go
request
so
last
high.
night. It is fun to laugh at bad things.
Okay, there you go.
So you loved it. Fantastic.
Speaking of kind of horror, what's next, Grace?
All right. So Jordan Peele is developing a TV series with Sonar Entertainment, who we love. It's based on real events. The series will follow a group of Nazi hunters tracking down Nazis who escaped justice and were able to disappear into society in the 1970s.
Listen, Jordan Peele.
Killing it.
Killing it. As an actor, as a director, as a producer, whatever the case may be. These true story kind of things, because this is based on a book, this is based on real stuff and like the American government helping some of these people, which has been buried under certain things for a long time. Jordan Peele knows what he's doing. This sounds incredible. Like
Did you see Get Out?
Have
you built up the nerve?
No.
It's okay. You're going to be fine in that one.
Really?
You should see
it's
it.
not scary at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was scary.
I mean, no. I mean,
It's
there's some scary moments, but it's not like
It's
clown
psychological.
scary.
oh, it's
like people
psychological.
who
Yeah.
are like crazy people, like not like
You should
demons.
definitely see
I
that
should
movie.
see Get
Yeah.
Out. Okay, all right.
But
Yeah.
I'll watch anything he's attached to. And
Exactly.
since seeing Get Out, I have had my eye on every single thing that they're throwing his name into. And more so than anything, I just wanted him to take projects that I got the sense he felt really passionate about, because I just remember when we were talking about throwing his name in that Akira movie, and I'm like, no, don't do that. Let him do something he really, I don't know his relationship with that source material, but
we were talking about on Schmoes last night is that a lot of these directors that have success with something that's not a studio movie, all of a sudden studios jump down their throat like, hey, make the next Bing Bang Boom Bang Boom franchise, and they're like, no,
and
I'm okay.
not my jam. Like it was my jam because I was
first one
passionate about it.
special.
Correct.
Because they don't get that same chance to show off their voice and their specific type of creativity. And I have a bad feeling that's what would have happened on Akira with it. But this feels right to me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing his take on this.
And we've had 2 shows in the 70s recently, both on HBO, Vinyl and The Deuce. The Deuce got a second season. The Vinyl shouldn't even had a first episode. And I'm looking forward to seeing what tropes Jordan Peele avoids and what tropes that he totally hits in the 70s. Like cigarettes, mustaches, bell bottom. Like what Jordan Peele stuff are going to see whilst hunting Nazis. Like the running like Dirk Diggler in those 70s heels. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to see in this.
Yeah, I mean, he's a master storyteller and entertainer. I wrote the same thing. Anything he's attached to, I'm like, after Get Out, I'm like, on board.
All right, what's next?
So the CW is developing The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The new project is going to reimagine Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a dark coming-of-age story tackling horror, the occult, and witchcraft. And they're tonally describing it as in the vein of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. So I'm literally peeing my pants as I read this to you. I am so stoked.
What?
You're not. Well, you're not. Are you?
Yeah.
This is a Sabrina. I thought this was going to be like a Sabrina CW, like a Riverdale crossover.
It is, but it's like dark.
It's like going to
be. Yeah, exactly.
And that intrigues me too, because you guys know how much I stress, because I really do want to watch everything, and I beat myself up over not watching all the TV shows I need to and all the movies I need to. And Riverdale is kind of at the top of that list, because I watched 2 episodes and I really dug it, and then I just didn't have time. But I want to watch Riverdale, and the way they're pitching this, because I was a big fan of the cheesy Sabrina back in the day. This is the version I want, though. And if they go super dark, because
I would like to go. I don't want
see
super dark. If we're talking dark, I want like a 7 out of 10, like a beige, like a dark khaki.
Well, did you ever see that show
Fincher
Secret
dark
Circle?
all the time, everywhere, witchy.
Did you ever see Secret Circle?
No.
I think it was CW. It was super cheesy, you know, like teen drama, and I liked all the witchy dark elements to it, but that was so minimal compared to all of like the dramatic nonsense we got. So I want them to go as dark as they can possibly go, while keeping it in line with Riverdale.
Okay.
Perri wins all the accolades.
Well, you know what? Because it's our first time on the show, I'm gonna say
I'm going easy
Perri
on you.
wins.
That's so generous.
The second time you're on, though, we're gonna go a little harder on you.
Love it.
That's what she said.
All right, Grace, what's next?
So now we're gonna talk about Mr. Mercedes. Episode 7 aired last night on the Audience Network. Spoilers.
Yeah, throw it
What
up.
a horribly sad episode. I literally got so many feels.
Okay.
I was devastated.
Do you remember last week when we were talking about this? And Perri, you weren't on the show last week, but last week we talked about it.
She's never been on the show.
Oh, that's
before,
right.
so
Right, she's never been on.
Right.
We were talking about like this show is coming up, and it felt, where are they going? How is this going to be? Where, you know, because we were hitting a little bit of a lull.
Right.
And this episode, we're like, okay, so this is where
Like,
we're going
touche.
now. Yeah.
Touche,
hey, TV
Brady,
talk dummies.
piece of shit.
Yeah, you dumb idiots. Because for the most part, this episode had a lot of setup that led to an unbelievable ending of an episode. I did not see it coming. I didn't think he was going to pull it through. I didn't think we were going to lose Mary Louise Parker this early. There's something, man. And dude, Brendan Gleeson, that dude is a professional.
He is great.
He's a
mean,
dreamboat.
I've never said that before because I've never been on an episode of TV Talk before, but he is so good in this show. And
Never gets old.
I get very shocked when shocking deaths like that catch me so off guard, because normally you know
You're
when
kind
it's
of, like,
going to happen, or
waiting
you
for the
have
big
some sort of
moments,
idea. I thought, because clearly he was stalking them, so I knew something bad was going to happen, but I thought whatever bad thing did happen was going to be drawn out a little more.
Me too. Like the next, or maybe even the next episode.
But structuring it in a way that it happened after they had a fight and they kind of reconciled, and she's in a shitty spot, and the way they
I love that text message in the car. That's when she blew up. I was like, oh God, but she sent that nice text.
The way they intercut it with her speech at the funeral,
well
because
done.
when we
Oh my
didn't see the
God.
speech, my first thought was I wanted to hear the speech, and then when they put it back in, I'm like, oh, I see why you did that. Now this hurts 10 times more.
Yeah, and
Let's bring.
I
that
love
dude
them
down.
together. Like I
Yeah,
know
me
Clark
too.
didn't like it, but I think it's hot. I'm so in.
Listen,
and they were like,
he's a charming man. He's a charming fat man with a great beard. And I tell you what, if you're a lady out there and you're like, oh, let him just talk to you in that Irish brogue and see how it goes.
You know who else I really like? I like her.
I do
like
too.
Holly
That
so
actress is
much.
fantastic.
Isn't
Yeah,
she
she's really
great?
good.
'Cause
Have
there's-
you looked up her IMDb? It's
No.
one of those things where like she looks like a completely different person, and it's
Sure.
not because they just change her hair color and give her a different outfit on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like everything about the way she speaks, her body language. She's so good, and the idea of the two of them
I love
teaming
it.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
I
just
know.
eating all that up.
I love
That's
this
a
kid.
highlight. The thing for me is a lot of times, and we were talking about that Good Doctor, and I'll mention something in a little bit, but that a lot of times with OCD and mental disorders and just like, I have a cousin that has an OCD and she's got tics and everything like that. And a lot of times actors and actresses take it to that next level. They go full on and it's almost like unbelievable. This is so believable as an actress. That girl deserves all kinds of praise because she kills it.
Yeah, she's great. And I'm really excited too that finally in this episode we saw Brady's mom finally starting to like have a purpose. Like
Yes.
she's starting to get a little weirded out. It's like, yes, good. Go through his things. There are things happening.
But also
Step
at the same
up.
time, I kind of want a day drink. Is that?
It's like Josh's everyday struggle.
It's nice that they took their time with that because then it felt earned because she was clearly locked in that zone for a very, very long time. So when she
Right.
finally felt
got like a little
compelled
bit
to
of fresh
research,
air, and then she was like, "Oh."
and Brady is terrible. I know this happened in the previous episode, but the decision to do that to his mother, it's like not that I knew he didn't already do terrible, terrible things
It's
on
the
the show.
sixth sensing.
It,
He's
it
sixth
felt
sensing.
like a very different type of sinister behavior.
And then him like celebrating as he's watching on the security
Aw,
cam. I was
How
like,
creepy is that
Because we were
journal,
talking a
too?
little, right? We were talking about this off air, like when we were watching Unabomber, and you had almost, dare I say it, a little bit of sympathy for Paul Bettany.
Little
Like,
compassion.
nope. No.
None for
like,
Brady.
I hate this kid. I hate this kid. I
Yeah.
want to punch this kid in the face.
But I'll tell you what, Stephen King knows how to make a good villain. Tell you what.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, Grace.
And on a lighter note, just kidding, not at all. The Sinners season finale was last
series
night.
finale because it's a
That's right, because it's like
limited
a
series.
one-off.
Yeah.
So the whole, here we go again. Season, series, we don't know. It's over. It was great. I thought this was such a triumphant return for Jessica Biel. I'm happy that she's like married with a kid and doing great work. I think
Yeah.
that's like a very important thing
She
to see.
looked stunning at the Emmys. Holy shamoly.
Oh yeah, I mean she's
crushed
great,
it.
and
her
she's like
bangs
buff.
look pretty
I
damn
dig it.
good when she's in jail too.
Tell you what,
I
Perri,
mean, that's something else.
Bringing those bangs
Could
back.
your bangs look that good in jail?
If I had bangs in prison, I'd be in big trouble.
yeah,
They would not be looking that good.
I think the bangs
that's
are the
Perry's
least
number
of your
one
worries.
fear. She's
Yeah.
like, I can't go to jail, you guys.
God,
My bangs would not
priorities, guys.
survive.
Come on.
Not putting heroin up her butt. It's her bangs.
I mean, these nails would not survive prison. Don't worry, I get it. My priorities are also very, very correct.
Sadly, they wouldn't let you bring Rat to prison either.
So-
that got so dark. I didn't mean
so
it.
real.
I take it back.
Guys, let's talk about TV, please. I got to be honest. I didn't love the finale. I loved the series as a whole. I felt like it wrapped up really, really quickly, and they introduced the dad in the first episode, and then didn't bring. You can throw a spoiler. Thanks. Then didn't bring him back until the end. Like the last episode, you're like,
Right.
oh, okay.
I actually
so this
didn't
is the
recognize
whole
him.
thing, right? And I thought that JD, I know it was a few episodes ago, but I thought his killing was like a total disservice. Like the whole wrap up of it was clean and it was good and it had a good feeling to the end of it and everything, but it also was a little anticlimactic for me.
What I liked about that is it kept the focus on Bill Pullman and Jessica Biel. It was so,
they're so
purely
good.
their story, and it made it more of a mystery to me because normally with these kinds of things, I can see what they're pointing at episodes ahead of when we actually get there. And maybe it's because we didn't see the father for such a long time, but that caught me by such surprise. But it made so much sense. The way that they worked that into the story, I could see that father
Sure.
doing that for his son. I mean, it is very extreme, but I think they justified it well enough. And it was just so satisfying to see them finally solve everything. I mean, you were joking about, maybe a season 2, and I know the show is very popular. Please, have
End
some
it.
restraint. Just leave it as is because that is
Right.
such a
This
satisfying
is a True
conclusion.
Detective season 2 kind of a situation where they're like, hey, we can do
I
this
hope
again.
you're right.
Here's
Right.
Sinner 2, and by the way, it's not anywhere near as good.
Nothing will top the previous episode, though. It's
know.
if anything, my slight bit of disappointment in this episode was just because that last one was so
They Game
damn
of Thrones
good.
did.
Yeah,
They Game of
so
Thrones
good.
did.
Yeah, they totally Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
it,
they-
yeah.
the penultimate
when
was the
her,
crusher.
when her, oh my god, when he was doing like the chest compressions
Yeah.
and it just like her,
Cracks was
I
starting.
literally I audibly was like, oh, and cover. It's so visceral and so good.
Okay,
but
question for
yeah.
the panel before we move on. Do you think this gets any Emmy nominations next year or any kind of things like that?
Oh, I most certainly hope so. I feel like my track record with the Emmys this year kind of proves it's going to happen because of all the shows, I watched like that many shows, and some of those shows were Handmaid's Tale and Big Little Lies. So if I watch a show, it's going to get a nomination.
Okay, so Perri she's the Emmy whisperer.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I really don't think it deserves it. I think Jessica Biel was fantastic, and she's one of those actresses where I'm like, all right, I could do without her, but she is really good in this.
Agreed.
The actress who played Phoebe, I thought was great too, and Bill Pullman. You know what I want to say? I want to see Bill Pullman team up with Brendan Gleeson, and they can be cops together and solve a mystery.
That's actually
Stop.
pretty
I don't know
good.
who I would love more. That's like my dream.
It's just like bearded cops this fall on Fox.
like
I'll
old
watch
bearded
it.
men. It's
I'll
like my
watch it.
favorite thing.
Yes. Damn.
I don't
Well
know.
done.
It's hard because I feel like the Emmys are so like literal black and white. It's like, who knows? Like you see something like Big Little Lies. That was great. A billion Emmys. You see something like Broad City. That's freaking amazing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
True.
it's so hit or miss. It's like,
true.
I don't know.
Well,
I
the
don't
Sinner
know.
on USA was no pun intended, was a stunner for me. I was no pun intended.
yeah.
That was terrible. That's called a transition, guys. I honestly didn't think I was going to like it, and I loved it. So thank you.
Me too.
Thank you, USA, for changing my opinion of certain things. Let's go on. We're going to do Performer of the Week with Allison Keene from Collider.com. But before we do that, real quick, after Allison Keene, we're going to bring on Chad Michael Collins, special guest on the show today. But I want to give a shout out to Allison Keene because I don't think I do it enough. She laid the greatest title in the history of Collider.com, and I'm sorry to all the other writers, but the title of the article is The Good Doctor Pilot Review. Autism, not a magical superpower, ABC. So well said, Allison. So well said. Cannot wait to not watch that show. All right, let's do Performer of the Week. What do you say? Take it away, Allison.
Hey everybody, I'm Collider.com TV editor Allison Keene here with the latest pick for TV Performer of the Week. The fall TV season is ramping up and we're about to have an explosion of shows premiering in the last week of September, though not many of them are very good. One show, though, that has already premiered and is very good is Outlander on Starz. The show about a romance that cannot be kept apart by space nor time is entering its third season, and in it we find Claire and Jamie separated by time and space. But at least for now. Jamie is in 18th century Scotland and Claire's back in the 1940s by way of Boston, where her husband Frank has a teaching position at Harvard. While Outlander is unquestionably about Claire and Jamie and their love across the ages, I want to spare a moment for Frank, played by Tobias Menzies. So first of all, if you guys have been following this segment for a while, you'll know that I have a bias for actors who play more than one role on a show. A few actors have played such opposing roles, though, as Menzies has in regards to the quiet and kind Frank versus the villainous Black Jack Randall, Frank's 18th century ancestor. Now, season 3 of Outlander has not featured much of Black Jack, and if you've seen the premiere, you know why. So while I want to commend Menzies on creating two such disparate characters and making us forget they are played by the same man, I want to focus on his portrayal of Frank, because poor Frank. He has a loving relationship with his wife Claire. She ends up going through some magic stones in Scotland for several years and then returns pregnant with another man's child, a man she is truly in love with forever and cannot forget. And Frank, not easily, but he does come to accept all of this and really tries to make their marriage work again, which Claire also tries to do for a while, but it's just not meant to be. And so Frank is a character that a lot of people tend to skip over when reading the books, but the show has chosen to spend a lot of time on him, even more so than the books did, and that's completely because of Tobias Menzies and his amazing performance. He gives Frank a quiet desperation, and you just have to love him, even though you are totally on the side of the star-crossed lovers. You want the best for Frank, and Menzies makes him such an essential character. In these early season 3 episodes, too, he actually creates a real choice for Claire about whether she could stay in Boston and be happy with him, which is an essential dramatic tension regarding her potential future with Jamie. Menzies has made Team Frank a real thing and has kept him a character who we're interested and care about, even though he is an obstacle to the OTPs getting together. And that is no easy feat. Menzies is an exceptional actor, one who has appeared in so many great series, but he has really done some of his very best work here. So Tobias Menzies is my TV Performer of the Week for Outlander. Have a bonny week, you lads and lassies. See you next time.
All right, Allison, thank you so much. And again, great work on that title on Collider.com. All right, Collider TV Talk pleasure right now to introduce good friend of the show, Chad Michael Collins, star of the upcoming series Extinct on BYUtv. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again. And
Absolutely,
nice to meet
man.
you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for being here.
So, Extinct is coming out on BYUtv. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Yeah, Extinct is dropping October 1st. It's a fun little PG sci-fi action adventure show we put together up in Utah for 5 months.
That's awesome.
It was created by New York Times bestselling writer Aaron Johnston and also Orson Scott Card, who wrote Ender's Game and is very well known for that. So they created this universe. And it's basically about aliens coming down and annihilating every single human on the planet. And
Awesome.
then 400 years in the future, a small group of humans find themselves kind of reconstituted by a benevolent alien race to repopulate humanity.
Nice.
But there's, lingering threats and the previous aliens who are now the inhabitants and tenants of Earth. And, a lot of more questions than answers, pretty much. And, we're trying to hard scrabble survive with whatever's left over 400 years later.
You look great in an all-black jumpsuit, man. I gotta
Thank you.
tell you.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was reborn, that was my reborn outfit. So it's pretty
it's a
sleek.
great unitard.
We're
It's
reborn in
very
New York
slimming.
City.
I gotta tell you, man. If I was up and and they said, "Hey, you're being tasked with repopulating Earth," I'd be like, "Fish in a barrel. Here we go."
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
You
right? Do
got
what
to
do.
Yeah.
What was it like working on this? I mean, you're out in the wilds of Utah, which it's got to be pretty up.
It was a
Gorgeous.
wild ride, and I'd never been to Utah before, but they've got a great burgeoning film industry, and we shot 75% of this on locations. Wow. So you'll see stuff where the original Star Trek was shot, the red rocks and the sand and the desert. Wow. We started last August. It was 115 degrees. In the all-black jumper since there.
Nice.
And then
I'm
we
a sweater.
Yeah, well, we all were.
So like
We
white
didn't
guy,
have a
like
choice.
sweaty mustache off,
Yeah.
like.
But then we were going to places like Zion National Park, and we were going to the Four Corners. We were up 7,000 feet up high in mountains. We shot into January, February, got covered in snow. So the show is really great because it's just the production value of the landscapes in Utah. It's right there.
And this
adds
is
so much.
And this is the first original series for BYUtv.
It's actually the second scripted series. They did a series called Granite Flats a few years ago that did a few seasons, but this is their first foray into sci-fi.
Nice.
Which is such a universal, medium or genre in that way.
Right.
But BYTV's it's really great because we're unlike The Walking Dead, where you're going to get corn syrup blood splatters every other shot. We did something that was action adventure, and you've got your space element, your alien elements, and whatever else. But we did something that a family could watch. The motto for BYUtv is "See the good in the world."
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a kind of a more values-based approach to it. It's more about the family and the hope and the this, but. We're running through the environment and we're beating each other up just like any other show you'd see like this.
And they're releasing 8
like so much
episodes.
fun.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. So releasing 8 episodes and then 2.
It's
10.
October 1st is a 2-part series premiere on BYUtv, but there's also free apps you can download. You can stream it for free on BYUtv.org. Awesome. And they're going to make the first 8 episodes available on October 1st as well.
Nice,
and then you'll have to hang tough until November 19th
Get
for the
that
2-part
extinct binge
finale.
going.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Now, what's like? I mean, we talk about all kinds of TV on here. What's your taste in TV? What are some of your classic favorites? What are you watching now?
Man, oh man, I've always been a TV nerd, and what's fun is I grew up. We were just talking about this. I grew up in upstate New York. Didn't have cable for most of my childhood experience. So when we got cable, I was nuts. Like I went off the rails. I mean, I would stay up late watching USA's Puppet Masters 1 through 17. And terrify myself, until 5 in the morning.
Right.
Out. So, X-Files, Star Trek: The Next Generation, all in college, Alias made a huge impact on me.
Love Alias.
Loved Alias, still one of my all-time favorite
Me too.
shows. And then you graduate to The Shield, but I've always been a comic book nerd.
Okay.
So for right now, I stream all the Netflix stuff. I watch all the DC stuff on the CW. I just love, I devour it all. I'm catching up on Preacher because I was in Utah. I'm missing most of it.
Yeah.
But
we were very mixed. We had very mixed emotions on this season of Preacher.
yeah, I'm not on season 2 yet, but it's my all-time favorite comic book.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna watch.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
for
get
sure,
to it
for
eventually.
sure.
But
Okay.
I would say right now, like my top 3, and I'm just gonna go off. The standard I'll judge these by is do I watch them live?
Okay.
Will I show up live instead of trying
Event
to binge
TV
watch
for
them
you.
later? Yeah.
Right.
So it's Game of Thrones, obviously, Walking Dead, and I'm gonna throw a wild card in the mix. Billions.
Billions on
Because
Showtime. I've
Billions-
been preaching since day one.
It's
The
an
show is
actor
incredible.
showcase. It's an actor showcase.
Yes.
And I watch it with maybe a whole different set of eyes than other people would watch it.
Yeah.
But Damian Lewis
Right.
and Paul Giamatti and all those actors it's a masterclass.
It really is. And
Yeah, that's a great point.
and season 2, I thought, after how season 1 ended, I thought, oh man, we're gonna have a letdown. Season 2 was effing incredible.
It got better, I feel
really
like.
did.
I really dug it.
It's like one of those things that flies under the radar too. I feel like we don't hear about it a whole lot.
And the cast, like you said, Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti, 2 brilliant actors, and this show just flying totally under the radar.
Right.
I could
No
go
Emmys.
back and watch it. No Emmys, no nothing. Yeah.
That's insane.
It
to me.
really is.
It really is, because it's not a Bond cat and mouse spy series,
No.
but it's about a district attorney or what is his title? Attorney General.
Attorney General, yeah. AG, assistant AG.
It's a government guy trying to take down a hedge fund guy. So, but there's just as much drama and intrigue.
And they're
as you
2
find anywhere
genius
else.
guys, and in the show they're genius guys.
Yeah.
So it's 2 geniuses chasing each other via finances. Like
Yes.
you would
Right.
when you pitch that, you're like,
Right.
I don't know if I like the sound of it. But then you watch it and you're like, holy shit, this is incredible.
And I think that's
Yeah.
probably why people don't tune in. It's like a show about finance, but
Right.
it's like there's all sorts of shady, underhanded, dark stuff that go on.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
you
right.
can imagine
I
at
dig it.
those high levels.
Yeah,
of-
I mean, that
of
pilot
fortunes.
episode, I was like, nope, did not
Yeah.
see that coming.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Should we take some
Edgy.
Twitter questions here for Chad?
Yeah, I have one that I like. We're going to go with at Markel, our friend Chris, who says, who asks, what current TV trend or cliche most annoys you? I'm tired of seasons being split into 2 parts.
Oh no! See, I like two-part seasons. That really helps me out because, like, if we have 8,
Because we get a break, we're
'cause
like,
we get a
oh,
little bit of
thank
a
God.
break. You know, you get 8 episodes, and then maybe like 3 months later, you get another 8 episodes, like they're doing with Walking Dead. I actually really enjoy those mid-season
I
finales.
don't mind the breaks.
No, not at all.
No.
And I think a lot of shows would benefit from that. Like, when you're watching, like, listen, I love Blackish and Modern Family. I love 30-minute comedies, right? I love half hours. And they'll air 4 new ones in a row. And then you don't even know why for 3 weeks there's no new ones. And then they'll do 4 more. And you're like, hey, why don't you air 10 and then do a mid-season finale kind of a thing and then air 10 more? I think that would be a much better way to go about sitcoms. And
It's
I
a
think
little
a
more
lot of shows.
consistent than like the kind of I kind of don't love I love the anthology series like American Horror Story where each season is a different thing. I don't love the Black Mirror thing where each episode
you
is
don't
its
like
own
the
standalone.
like the true anthology.
the
No, because I
continuity.
love I don't because you get like kind of invested and then it's like "Thep," and then you forget all about it.
I kind of like the mini movie. What do you think?
The mini movie is fine. One of the. Watch out! We'll get another.
There may
we'll
have
get
just been another
3.6 in the heart of Burbank. It is so huge right now in theaters, and I used to watch all the Stephen King minis. Stephen King mini from back in the day, The Stand, everything else. So I love that format. Honestly, I kind of grew up with it. And I'm
Remember
glad
the
it's
movies
still
of the
kicking.
week? Remember like the
Yeah,
Sunday night
yeah,
movie? You'd sit
exactly.
down with your family after 60 minutes. You watch the movie of the week, and then it would continue Monday, Tuesday, and you had
Right.
that 6-hour miniseries, like the Tanya Harding, Nancy
That's like
Kerrigan
a
one was
miniseries.
incredible. Yeah,
Like the mini, like the 10th Kingdom or something, or like when Hallmark used to do like Merlin, like all those like my jam. But that's like a whole. The 10th Kingdom's a 17-hour long film, which I adore. But it's like when it's only like almost 90 minutes.
yeah. Okay,
I feel a little
all right.
gypped when it's like 75 minutes because then when I start to be like I like you, it's a whole new cast.
No,
and I
you-
want to fall in love with the performers. Like
Right.
American Horror Story, I'm like, who's Sarah Paulson going to be this season? You
Right.
know?
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Do you like
Thank you.
Black Mirror? Do you like the?
I've not watched very
Okay,
much Black.
I think you'd actually enjoy it
yeah.
if you like those.
Yeah, you would definitely
those
like
Stephen
it.
King minis. You
Yeah.
love Black Mirror.
Well, I just learned about this Castle Rock series that's going to be coming
yeah.
out for
Right.
Hulu.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just like, that's my jam. Like, I've been reading Stephen King books since I was like in the 4th and 5th grade.
Right.
So I was tackling it and
Yeah.
Needful Things in Salem's Lot. Way too young.
Have you
Way
watched-
too young.
Have you watched Mr. Mercedes?
I haven't. No.
Oh.
See, you would love
Yeah.
it, man. That's Stephen King in a very Macuga palatable way. I'm a very scared person.
Right.
So I'm jumpy. I don't like jump scares. They made me go see It as, whatever, and that scared the living shit out of me.
Well, he almost killed somebody, so it was a fair fight.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
poor
It's
Mark
understandable.
Ellis, I just beating him up the whole
Within an inch of his
movie.
life, it was really dark.
Yeah, it was tough. But the Castle Rock thing, I think that Stephen King. I mean, I love the Shawshank Redemption Stephen King and the
Yeah.
Green Mile Stephen King. It's more of a story kind of thing
Sure.
without the jump scares. But I
Right.
get it. Like The Shining is one of the greatest achievements in cinema,
Right.
and
Sure.
that's, I mean, a Stephen King classic. So you have Stephen King, this Castle Rock kind of a thing. The guy is just a modern day storyteller, and because TV is where it is now, we're finally get to see him.
And before it was
him.
cool. He
No,
built
it's
a
a-
world. He
Yeah.
built a universe. Like it was all that Derry, Maine, Castle Rock. It's all that Maine sort of stuff where all this creepy, monkey shines and Pet
Yeah.
Cemetery all happens all around the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
place. So I think it's genius for
And-
J.J. Abrams to come in and be like,
Oh, I know.
Let's
That's like
build-
that's
let's
a
blow
that
out this
pairing is
universe.
like
Yeah, genius. It's sort of like The Sinner that we just finished, which took place in a small town in New York, Dorchester, New York, whatever. And you see these weird little things that can happen in these small towns, and that's what Stephen King has embraced so well in these kind of things. It does. It's a cool.
Having grown up in a small town, there are weird things that go on there.
Me too. Yeah, man. I grew up in a small town outside Pittsburgh. It's like, you know.
I mean,
weird.
I moved to a small town when I was pretty young, so I feel like I grew up in a small town. And there's a lot of, like, I grew like, in the big city where I was born, like, I have no good drama stories. But, like, Prescott, like, shit goes down. Like, weird shit. Like, the stories I could tell
What was the name of the town you're from?
Canajoharie, New York. Spell that back for me,
That's
John.
That's a lot of syllables.
I'm like, George Costanza, No, I got nothing.
It's Iroquois Indian.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is very popular in upstate New York. There's a lot of
across.
towns, Canandaigua and Ontario, all this sort of stuff is based on, there are a lot of tribal names.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hard to spell.
Chad,
Cool sounding.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you, Josh.
You're
Yeah,
welcome
thank you so
back
much.
anytime, honestly. We'd love to have you back. Maybe talk when the series is all over and,
Cool.
and it wraps and we can discuss. And you got another sniper movie coming out.
I do.
October
We have
3rd.
Sniper Ultimate Kills dropping October 3rd, which me and my co-lead Denai Garcia from Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah?
Fantastic, taking out a drug lord in Bogota, Colombia with the help of one Tom Berenger and one Billy Zane.
Boom. God.
Sold.
How's that for a
Billy
sales
Zane
pitch?
is the Phantom, and I know you said you were a comic book nerd.
Yeah.
My dad, I grew up on the Phantom. That was my dad's
okay.
favorite comic book, and I know I'm in a very small minority. I love the Phantom of Billy Zane. I love
everything
I love
Billy
it.
Zane does.
He's the best.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the best.
I adore
He's the best. So again, Extinct BYUtv, October 1st. You can catch it on the app at Extinct TV Show on Twitter. Again, Chad, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna get out of here. Before we do, Chad, where can the people find you on the internet?
Instagram and Twitter, Collins Chad M.
Collins Chad
and
M.
I've got the Facebook fan page.
Okay.
You can search and find and like.
Boom, there it is. Great.
You got to cover all three.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, you guys can find me just online everywhere, is what I always say. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't have like a MySpace page, but at Mrs. Graceface, that's me.
And now
Nice.
we usually do a pick of the day.
Oh right.
And before I give you, I'm gonna. This was just for you, man. If you could pick a famous lead actor in TV series and rename him Chad, who would it be?
So you're talking a character.
Yeah, character.
Let's go with Chad Mackey from The Shield.
I love it.
I'm a different
Yes.
good cop and bad cop.
I
I've
love
left
it.
for the day. I'm a
Yes.
different kind of cop.
Yes.
Never forget that pilot episode. I love The Shield.
I'm gonna go NYPD. I'll stick with you, cop. I'll go NYPD Blue. Chad Sipowicz, Lieutenant Chad Sipowicz. You see his butt on national TV. It's incredible. Yeah. And Grace,
I'd go with Hodor, because then he would just say Chad.
Chad.
I like
Chad.
that one. That's nice.
See,
Chad.
boom.
Chad.
Chad. Oh God, too soon.
Little different.
Oh, that's good. Again, Chad, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you,
Congratulations
guys.
on the series. Looking forward to seeing it.
Appreciate it.
Collider TV Talk every single day, 11 a.m. PST right here on Collider Video. I'm Josh Macuga, at Josh Macuga on Twitter and Instagram, The Josh Macuga Show on YouTube. And again, this Saturday, 2 p.m., tune into the Travel Channel. I'm the host of a show called Epic Happy Hours. Premiere episode. Like it, tag Travel Channel, tweet it, Facebook it, however you use social media. Anything helps. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. As always, put down the book, pick up the remote. Hey everybody, Josh Macuga here. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Collider TV Talk. Want to watch more episodes? Click there. It's an interactive link. Or for more Collider content, click down there. Subscribe to the channel. Tell all your friends. Get an airplane. Drive it by that says Collider. I'm not telling you to buy an airplane. Just do whatever you want as long as you're watching Collider Video.